Howdy, Emma. All right, so I'm going to give you a bit of a YouTube lesson. My hair just went weird. That's, whatever. Just a little bit of a YouTube lesson today because it seems like I'm one of those teachers in your life who can extend you a little bit of mercy when times are difficult and you have a busy schedule, and I'm more than happy to be that person for you. So that isn't a problem for me. I'm going to go ahead and do it this way and just remind you of a few things. Remember that next week will be your last opportunity to record a Christmas card. You can see the Christmas tree right here. And I've got my other camera angles and everything set up nice so that you can do a pretty Christmas card. In fact, I can give you a sneak preview. It'll open like that. Okay, so it'll say Merry Christmas, and then we'll put your name on it. I'm not Ella, and I'm not playing Frosty, but you get the idea. And then we'll have those other angles and the keys as well. All right, so that gives you kind of a preview of what your card will look like. So you have lots of things going on. Let's cut right to the lesson and things that might be able to help you out. We're working on finishing that I Wonder as I Wander. So I'm going to go ahead and show you here. Remember that you have plenty of rubato to play with, and rubato means changing of tempo. And so I think that I'll kind of experiment with that a little bit and show you some ways that you could do this, and it might help you out in your finished product. So here we go. Okay, those are just the notes. And I think that having that introduction that way, having it pretty straightforward, works for the intro. But what if we played the intro faster? Let's see what we think. Right? What do we think about that? It still kind of works, right? But why would we start it faster? Because it was an oops, right? Because we weren't thinking what tempo we wanted to be in a minute. And so we pushed the tempo by accident. So what could we do to recover from that? If we ended up playing that quickly, right? You would have, I'd take a big breath and completely change the tempo. Right? So that isn't a good place to really segue your tempo if you ended up playing this too fast. Big breath. Right? That would be fine. Don't really change the tempo, whatever you've got in that introduction. What if you start it way too slow? What if you start it? If you're this slow, own it with amazing amounts of confidence, and actually own it to the degree that you'll slow it down some more. That makes it sound very intentional. If you start slow and you think, oh my gosh, it's slow, it feels like it's dragging, then go ahead and actually slow it down some more. Right? Because it's like, I'm doing this on purpose to get you to pay attention, to really draw you in as a listener, right? Just go for it. Right? So whatever tempo you end up starting at, that's a weird motion. That's probably the one YouTube will pick for the picture for this thing, so that way when your mom gets it in the text, she'll be like, oh, weirdness. because YouTube is like that. Anyway, we want to just, it's all about the confidence, right? You just got to own it. Just go for it all the way. Be 100% sold. Fake it till you make it. Really works in this situation. Okay. Then it says a tempo, so we would go on. Okay. Could we play that faster? Sure. Could we play it slower? In every one of those cases, I think that it's best to go ahead and slow down a little bit at the end of the phrase. Right? This one is louder, this one is less. Right? And also pull back your tempo just a little bit. Then go on. Breath and go on. It says a little retard there, so slow down a little bit. You've got the fermata, so hang on to it. Or however you decided to go ahead and end that, right? So it sounds like you know what you're doing when you can make it go faster and slower, right? I'm going to go ahead and play from measure 8, the pickup to 9. I'm going to play it just a couple of ways so that you get some ideas of how you might want to play it on your recording next week, okay? So, because you won't sound like me, and that's a good thing, right? I have more advanced skills than you have, but you should always sound like Emma when you play. I don't want to take your voice and you don't want to take on my voice, right? Because you have your own interpretation of things and that's great. So these are just ideas, right? But don't play it, don't try to sound exactly the way that I sound because we have a different voice and a different voice, right? But using those ideas in the right way is what we're going for, okay? So the pickup to 9. And that's where I'm going to stop for this illustration, right? The notes are right, the rhythms are right, but doesn't it kind of sound, I mean, it's pretty, but it sounds very take it or leave it. Let's try it this way. That one feels very cold to me and very sad. Very, very sad. Okay, we'll flip over so that way you have something else to see. Let's try it this way. Right? So that's another way that we could do that one. I like that one better personally. I like that one better. Another thing we could do is we could actually have it grow out of measure 20. So getting into measure 20, I'll do the phrase starting at pick up to 17. Which is a nice way of interpreting that one. It's closer to what's on the page, okay? So you would get that pick up speed, then slow down, getting much louder, right? And then pulling back. See, you can really play with the tempo in this. Okay, you can really play with it, and you can make it louder, you can make it softer, you can make it your own. So I hope you play around with those things, and if you're missing anything this week, I'd be surprised because you've been doing pretty well with it. But now play up, how do you really want it to sound? Really think about it so that way when you record it, it sounds like you, okay? If you have any questions or you need any additional help, then just send me a text and I'll be around. Next week is your last lesson and the lesson that we're going to intend to do the recording. So make sure that you're prepared for that. You'll be glad. I know it's a pain right now and you've got tons of things in school and it's blah. I get that. But even in the next few months when you look back, being able to have a recording like this is kind of a nice thing to have. We don't do it very often. So really push for it with what's left of your energy, and I will see you next week, and I hope that you have a great week until then. Bye, Emma.